Go to Wyoming Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis on all of this. Senator, the president argued that this is not going to add a penny to the deficit, that economists have been praising this. But I just wondered, because this framework, they don't even know the details of it. So how could anyone, crunch the numbers on it and say it's not going to add to the deficit when it appears, at least at first blush, it's almost certainly going to add to the deficit? But what do you think of the math here? Just the math.
Well, there are a lot of accounting gimmicks to get them to be able to say this isn't going to cost anything. And there are accounting gimmicks going to be deployed in this. There just have to be in order to make the math work. From what we've seen, it looks like there are at least $500 billion worth of accounting gimmicks. That's almost a third of this whole bill is comprised of gimmicks. In addition, look at the context in which this bill is being considered. There was a $1.9 trillion bill that passed earlier this year to goose the economy. We find out today that it's only 2% GDP growth as a result of all the money that's sloshing around in the economy. We know that they've tried to, by cutting the Keystone XL pipeline and granting Germany and Russia the right to do Nord Stream 2, that they're putting Europe on dirty natural gas, and they're cutting our ability to be energy independent and produce American, more climate-friendly energy. What they're talking about, their rhetoric and what's really happening through their policies does not match at all, Neil.
So, Senator, you mentioned, and a lot of your Republican colleagues do too, that this is going to be inflationary. A lot of economists back that notion up. But Democrats countered, said, well, we were spending like crazy during the Trump years, and no inflation happened. We were going about another $9 trillion into debt. No inflation happened. So who's to say that Republicans are right that this will trigger a new wave of inflation? What do you say to that?
Well, what I say is people know inflation when they see it. And in the everyday world right now, inflation is eating into people's
no doubt, Senator. What they say, it's not that spending. It's going from park to boom in the economy and the demand for goods and services coming from that post-pandemic funk. And that's what's doing this, not any of this spending.
Not any of the new spending they're contemplating? Is that what they're saying?
Well, they say both. The spending that we've seen in this administration prior, with the roughly $2 trillion in spending already, and then this, that's not doing it. Obviously, you don't agree with that.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
Right. You say it's going to be compounded by this. They say if that were the case with the spending that went on in the Trump years, we'd be seeing a boom in inflation, and we didn't see that from those years.
Oh, I just think that's not a recognition of what's actually happening on the ground. I think that is a complete misnomer. Try to convince the American people there's not a connection. There wasn't inflation during the Trump presidency. Inflation just started, and the Fed was saying, oh, it's transitory. And now it is even the Fed saying, well, it's not transitory. It's going to be with us for a while. So the efforts that are being undertaken by the Democrats in this bill do nothing to recognize or address the fact that inflation is no longer transitory. It is with us. It is the hidden tax on everyday working people. And it's not so hidden anymore because it's in every egg. It's in every gallon of milk. It's in every new car. It's in every new house or used home. Everything's going up. So when you see that and then you hear there are going to be new taxes in this bill, applicable to small businesses, by the way, Neil, how can that not cause havoc in our economy that's already suffering?
Well, there's no doubt it's no longer transitory. You're quite right about that. Senator Cynthia Lummis, very good catching up with you. Thank you for your patience. Middle of the breaking news as well. The Wyoming Republican